Pearl. A Pearl explores the origin story of its namesake, set decades before the events of X, revealing how her troubled mind took root. A young woman with big dreams of becoming a star, Pearl feels trapped by her mundane life in the countryside, dominated by her harsh, overbearing mother. Her husband, Howard, is away at war, leaving her isolated. She spends her days tending to animals, cooking, and occasionally sneaking off to the movie theater, enchanted by the early days of film and inspired to become a dancer. But rising tension at home here with a disabled, mute father and controlling mother triggers a dark shift in Pearl. Her obsession with fame intensifies into psychosis, eliminating anything or anyone in her way. With a hauntingly grim climax, this prequel paints a vivid portrait of a charismatic young woman's descent into madness, offering deeper insight into her role in X. The standout element is Mia Goth's magnetic performance. Returning to T. West's horror trilogy, she commands the screen solo this time, earning praise and even Oscar buzz. Pearl may not wield supernatural powers like Freddy or Michael Myers, but she becomes iconic in her own right, to equal parts Dorothy and delusion. The film pays homage to Golden Age cinema with bold color palettes and visual nods to The Wizard of Oz and Mary Poppins. Instead of monsters, it delves into psychological torment, portraying repression erupting into violence. Smile. Dr. Rose Cotter works in a psychiatric hospital, overwhelmed by the intense demands of her job. One day, a distraught patient named Laura Weaver arrives, traumatized after witnessing her teacher's gruesome suicide. While smiling, Laura begs Rose to believe her. She is being stalked by a shape-shifting entity that wears terrifying grins and mimics people she knows. Initially dismissing it as psychosis, Rose is shaken when Laura violently kills herself in front of her, smiling the whole time. Rose soon starts experiencing disturbing visions of the same figure. As her mental state deteriorates, she can't tell illusion from reality, straining her relationships. Her ex, now a detective, helps her investigate what they learn is a supernatural curse that passes from victim to witness. Rose must solve the mystery before she becomes its next fatality. Smile became 2022's unexpected horror hit, tapping into themes similar to The Ring, It Follows, and Final Destination. Despite some critics calling it formulaic, the film cleverly manipulates perception and tension, building toward a chilling finale. Gritty visuals and an unforgettable confrontation make Smile a worthy entry in the psychological horror genre. With a budget of just $17 million and a global gross nearing $200 million, a sequel seems inevitably, even if its originality remains debated. Piggy Sara, a teenage girl living in rural Spain, is constantly bullied for her weight, earning the cruel nickname Piggy. She works at her family's butcher shop and is often mocked online and in public. One summer day, after a particularly vicious attack, Sara witnesses her tormentors being abducted by a mysterious man who shows her kindness. He becomes a violent protector of sorts, eliminating those who hurt her. Conflicted, Sara is torn between guilt and a twisted sense of validation. While grappling with what's right, she forms a disturbing bond with the stranger, her first real connection. But as the bodies pile up, she must decide whether to expose him or keep his secret. The film's shocking climax delivers emotional weight and horror in equal measure. Among the year's most socially conscious horror stories, Piggy confronts fat phobia and bullying. The raw performances, especially from Laura Galley !N as Sara, ground the film in emotional realism. Though the bully's actions are exaggerated, their motivations echo real-world cruelty. Viewers sympathize deeply with Sara, even while unsure of what justice means in her case. A powerful blend of horror and social commentary, Piggy echoes Carrie in its portrayal of a girl's painful transformation, leaving audiences unsettled yet reflective by the end. Terrifier 2. After the chaos of Terrifier, the sadistic Art the Clown is resurrected by a mysterious entity to unleash more terror. He's now accompanied by a ghostly clown girl who urges his rampage. His new targets, siblings Sienna and Jonathan Schur, still grieving their father's death. The siblings begin experiencing visions of Art in dreams and reality, blurring their sanity. Sienna becomes obsessed with creating a Halloween costume inspired by her father's artwork, unaware her handmade sword holds the key to art's vulnerability. As art mutilates anyone close to the shores, the film weaves in surreal imagery of dreams, fire, resurrections, comic books, and more, pushing the slasher genre into bizarre territory. Terrifier 2 is a blood-soaked spectacle that surpasses its predecessor in ambition, special effects, and character depth. Fans and critics lauded David Howard Thornton's chilling return as art, cementing him as a modern horror icon alongside Freddy and Jason. The film expands art's mythos while keeping his motivations obscure. While the movie has its flaws, its cult appeal and brutal creativity make it a standout. The director has teased a third and possibly fourth installment, promising to dig deeper into art's origins, a mystery that still haunts the franchise. Barbarian. When Tess Marshall books a rental home in a rundown Detroit neighborhood for a job interview, she's surprised to find another guest, Keith, already staying there. Both claim to have booked the house legitimately, and after some awkwardness, they decide to share the space. Keith tries to ease Tess's nerves, and they begin to bond. But strange noises during the night and Keith's disappearance the next day lead Tess to a horrifying discovery: a hidden tunnel in the basement filled with unspeakable horrors. The narrative then shifts to introduce Adge, a disgraced actor seeking solitude only to stumble upon the same nightmare. Featuring Justin Long, Bill Skarsgård, Yen Road, and Georgina Campbell, Barbarian became a sleeper hit, grossing over 11 times its budget. The film subverts expectations with sharp tonal shifts, blending humor, suspense, and brutal horror. It cleverly touches on social issues like #Me Too allegations, gentrification, and online dating, without ever losing its nightmarish edge. The tension-filled first act gives way to disturbing revelations that elevate it beyond typical horror fare. While not built for sequels, Barbarian stands as one of the most inventive horror experiences of 2022, marking a fresh direction for the genre and reinforcing that in horror, it's always wise to expect the unexpected.